Hi everybody, I'm Laurie from Laurie's Mechanical Marvels, and welcome to the Monday Club.
It's Monday, it's 7 p.m, and the Bronx are on parade. It's time for the Monday Club, featuring your host, Jennifer Kirk, with the help of the Cupboard Monkey, and your host with the Toast Topsy Toaster, and a wizard called Gandalf, featuring the sounds of the Class 08 Symphony Orchestra and the musical stylings of Gordon, the music maestro. Let's get ready to loco! Ho, ho, ho! Ooh.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey.
If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Oh my goodness, you just moved all of that. Now we can see everything.
Oh wow, no.
You managed to knock the rostrum cam. You knocked the
yeah.
rostrum cam.
I had that right where
You
I wanted.
broke it. Your skill is not enough. You've just set off one of your things, by the way.
Don't worry. Right.
I saw one of... Jen, I saw one of the things flash on that
yeah, look,
meter.
don't you worry your little self about it.
42
Big
or
hello to
something.
3B Rail, West Highland Terrier 37, Flymo Chairman 1, Richard Knowles, Patrick Ling, Nick Girolamo, Cameron Patterson, Wamgok, David Scott, Ham Shackleton, Neil Dance, Secret Anorak, Harry Sedgwick, Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, Iron Horse Railways, Mousehole Rail Josh, Michael Wiles, Patrick Ling, Hermitage Road, Sarah Davies, James Spinks, Railways, Shaky Hands, Shed Mother Railways, Caroline Rogers, Andy Stewart, Joshua W56. So we've got a good turnout. I'm still very, very ill.
I turned out once. Didn't get much else done for the rest of the day.
Unfortunately, I seem to lurch from one facet of this illness to the next.
Well, if you will go out and build a garden railway in the winter, you're going to get the sniffles.
Yeah, so yes, this is a new camera angle. We've been experimenting. So we thought people might actually like a bit of a change. So this is the Gronk cam at the moment, because the Tim Krinsky Class 08 is just up there. And it also means that Topsy's getting excited with his Browning knob. You can also see the Class 05 in Rail Blue.
Are you sure it's Rail Blue?
D9595.
Because, you know, there are so many
Sorry,
colours that British
2595.
Rail used. There's blue, there's blue again, there's green, and there's blue.
Well, that's not entirely true. There's mainline blue, but there's also intercity red, grey, and white. And there's Network Southeast, which is white, red, and blue. So, yeah, anyway, Stephen McLay, who it proudly announced to us has been a channel member for 23 months. Wow. Thank you so much for your incredible support. And, of course, a big thank you to all of our amazing channel members and Patreons. So, people are saying a lot that, you know, sometimes a change is as good as a rest. So, we've got This is actually an extra angle. I dug out an unused camera and we got it working. For some reason, we've got a bit of stratification of lines, despite turning an extra light on up there. Yeah. Southern Train Girl, big hello to you. Says, thanks, Sue's dad, doing a lot better, but they won't let him out. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
I hope he gets well soon.
Yeah, so look, just take it easy, yeah? Chehalis Valley Rail Production says, love the new camera angle. SHGP Media, evening to you. Paul Bryant, good evening. Jenny, Zoe, Topsy, and Gandalf. Evening all, says Dave Holloway. Patrick Ling says, what's in the news? Well, the big bit of news is earlier on today. A Currascale made an announcement with... Well, we already knew about the O-gauge Ruston, but they've released pictures of the livery samples. So we got all the different livery samples, and they did actually release some quite extensive notes as well about changes they're going to be making. So somewhere in that email you will find a link.
I have got it.
So we're just bringing that up. We probably should have done this before we went live.
Yes, but we were having dinner.
So that's the main thing. We're going to try and get some high-res pictures up and on the screen in just one moment. So whilst that does that, have they all come in?
Yeah.
That was quick. So maybe not as high-res as we thought.
I don't know. Right. Keep going, Jen. It's fine.
I can't really do much without the chat on screen.
I understand.
So what have we got running? Well, as you can probably see at the moment, I daren't change channels because Zoe has got both screens actually showing something other than the stream, so I can't tell whether the camera fails. We have got the Hornby Class 71 fitted with TXS. Going around, so I'm going to press the button now. Let's see if we'll probably pick it up here. We've just missed Butler Henderson, which I haven't run in ages. I'm trying to give things a run out that haven't been out for a while. So Butler Henderson is doing the rounds, but then we've also got the Class 71 as 71012 with the TXS decoder and power banking. It can be done. I should probably do a fitting guide at some point. I think people might find that quite helpful. I'll find out when the Class 71 profile is due to be released and try and time it perhaps with that. So, right.
Give me a second, because they've...
What, you've just dumped it onto my desktop?
It wouldn't give me an option to do anything else.
It's not au fait with Windows.
I wasn't off it, I know.
I don't think anybody's au fait with Windows. So, right, so we can bring this up on the big screen.
Yes.
Even though it is compromising still my ability to read the chat.
It is, but for the moment we're going to look at this.
Okay.
And because the reason for that is, there is the information.
No, I don't need to read it out. It's we're just going to talk about the images. So.
Oh, in that case.
Yeah. So, basically, we haven't got the chat on the screen.
We're supposed to have, but we didn't.
It was supposed to, but it didn't.
Yes.
It's because I was filming. That's why it's done that.
Ah, so you did...
Yeah.
You did
Right,
this.
anyway.
You did it.
Shut your
It's
flappy...
your fault.
Shut your flappy pie hole so I can talk.
Flappy, flappy pie.
So these are the livery samples for the Currascale Rustons. They really do look nice. These are O-gauge. It's the first ever O-gauge release. So we've got, if you're asking me for my favourite, I do like the green ones. That one at the front, the WMJEA number 1.
I'm going to go
with the Ruston logo. Looks amazing, but
I'm going to go against the grain and go for what appears to be the old 50s, 60s green.
Oh, the leaf green. Very industrial colour. Probably quite hard to keep clean. I do like the blue with wasp stripes. But next slide, please. None of these have mechanisms and wheels. So before anybody says anything about the lack of wheels, this is normal. These are just the body shells.
Very interesting pattern on the buffers. I like that.
I'm not sure whether that's part of the livery or not. So just take that with a pinch of salt. I'm not 100% sure if that is part of the livery or just a quirk of the livery sample. So next slide, please. The one with the Ruston on the front looks amazing.
Yeah.
The one at the back looks very much like Ollie's Wardle Restorations.
I think this is part of the livery. Look at it. It's like they've slapped oil.
It's a grease smear, yes, and the buffer head has dimples in,
So
which would act as pockets for the grease, so it didn't all just wipe off. So yeah, no, that does look really good, and it's that kind of attention to detail that you can get with O-Gauge.
Yes.
So we've also got the Roundtree Macintosh one. I think did that work at, would that be Keynsham or would that be York? I'm not entirely sure, but certainly
It's very cool, though.
It's a lovely livery with the light leaf green lining. The BR one, I think that's probably going to be one of the really popular ones. But the one at the back is quite loud with that wasp stripe. So next slide, please. Now these are certainly the one on the left is the BR livery, recently been released in double O gauge by Hornby. So this later on got a 97XXX tops number. I think it became 97020 under tops, but that is technically its pre-tops number. And that's the Locomotive, I think, that was replaced by the Class 06. So, Secret Anorex has lowered for speed. Nigel Cole says, is that light green a Quality Street livery? Madden Steam Railway says, Ruston and Hornsby made and probably still make some of the finest shunting locomotives ever. I don't think they're making them anymore. They have one at the Epping Ongar Railway that has been restored and one on the corner of High Street. Paul O'Donovan says, greetings from Ireland. Bachman's spring announcements on Wednesday. New tooling is part of it. Happy days. So yes, that is some of the other news. We will be trying to follow that with a live stream, although getting press releases out of Bachman
Bachman don't deal with YouTubers.
No, even though I am a journalist and they'll send stuff to other journalists, it's just not you.
Because you go on YouTube. It's just, it's a quirk of Bachman.
Anywho, the red one's interesting. It's just nice to see locomotives in a livery other than black, green and blue.
Yes,
so
yes it is.
So the electricity generating board number 12, that is quite a nice livery.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% convinced by the red buffers on the leaf green one, but of course I'm guessing that is 100% accurate.
I kind of like
these, a bit of weathering goes a long way with these.
Oh,
These things
absolutely.
would have almost
This is
never been
interesting
clean.
now.
Oh, they're the axle boxes.
Yeah, but
and
they're red.
yeah, next slide, please. So this one is really nice. I do like this. The WMJEA number 1. This is a really nice livery with that Ruston at the front is particularly nice. And you can see
detail you can get from these gratings and all sorts.
The grille at the front for the radiator. We've got the louvres down the body side, and then we've also got that flush cab glazing. It's really nice. It really does mean business. I mean, look at how heavy duty that chassis is.
Yeah, it looks chunky. It looks like it's...
hold on. Raymond Anthony 127 says, just got here. I'm never late to Weir Yard, nor am I early. I get here precisely when I meant to.
Absolutely. Because, as we all know, a Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Although,
Thanks, Gandalf.
Madden Steam Railway says, I hope that a black Ruston comes out soon. There was one at Concrete Bob's place.
Hold on.
They've got different buffers. So can I just...
They've got different buffers, they've got different lights, and they've got different fronts.
Yeah, I mean, there were detail
There's an awful
variances.
lot of detail differences, actually. Look at the back.
Yeah, there's quite a few, and these are accurate to the model. So if you look on the side as well, that sticky out panel on the side is different between both of those. So we've got different buffers, but also some other different details. I like that Ruston and Hornsby logo on the front of the cab as well. There's a lot going on with these.
There really is, and it's very interesting.
A lot of people like right on track saying this looks stunning. Big hello to J94. DJK666 says, my wallet will be 2 a day once my pre-orders come up. Joe Light Railway says, I don't have O-gauge yet, but I do like the Ruston 88, and these are really small. So this is a really good opportunity to actually try your hand at O-gauge modelling, because you don't need a lot of space.
That is a good point with these, yes.
So you could even do, I've seen people do box file layouts with small locos and a couple of wagons.
That'd be interesting to see. I was thinking more of a shelf layout.
Yeah, I mean, box file layouts with these are a bit extreme. I'd get bored very quickly.
Well, that is part of the topic that we'll be discussing later on.
But certainly, these open the door to a lot of minimum space O-gauge modelling.
Also, have you noticed, the buffers are different now?
They're the same as the BR one. They're just painted differently.
No, look. They
Yeah,
are different.
yeah. I've already pointed this out. Is the go back one? I think the front buffer beam's different. Yeah, the front buffer beams are different depth and style.
Different.
So
fits.
there's, I mean, it's almost like play spot the difference. There's a lot of
huge
differences.
number of differences.
So that's nice.
I actually
and
like this one. It's got a very
so
interesting look to it.
have we been through all the slides?
No.
Oh no! Oh, I like that one.
Oh, this one.
Right.
Ooh.
Can I just point out this one is? I think this is the running sample, that they've been showing out about. So you can see we've now got wheels on these,
Those wheels look amazing.
and also we've got the wheel guards front and back, which obviously wouldn't have been able to have been fitted on the livery samples. This looks amazing. I do like the arrow on the sides.
Yeah.
That is that one of the ones that worked at Birkenhead Docks? I'm not 100% sure.
It's very interesting.
Joe Light Railway says, my N-Gauge 6400 is still stuttering. It's a pannier tank.
Oh.
I would suggest still just check the wiper contacts for picking up power. It's only an 060, so it is always going to be a little bit challenged. If you can fit a stay alive in, even a very small stay alive, it might be enough just to help it out a little bit. But certainly, first port of call with stuttery running is always the pickups. Make sure that they make contact with the wheels at extremes of travel of the wheels, and then go from there. Now, this is the previous livery that those BR Blue ones might have carried, I guess. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure. No, I think BR did have several on their books. It's just one that lasted long enough to get into Rail Blue. And these would tend to be places like sleeper depots, where I guess they'd probably shunt the sleepers in and out of the pressure kilns, where they treat them with creosote.
Okay. Fair enough.
Next slide, please.
Oh,
There's
nice
the electricity generating board number 12. I think the red one's going to prove popular just for being something different. Next slide, please. And then, I'm not sure what livery this is, but I do like with the wasp stripes. And I like that the axle box covers have wasp stripes as well.
Yeah.
So that is quite nice.
It is interesting.
New Western Grove says, hey Jenny, I'm currently trying to switch to DCC and selling a couple of models I don't use to do so. I'm looking at the Hornby Select TTS chips for my Lehman models and Rails ones for others. Now, I would suggest that actually TTS might be a little bit wasted on Lehman models. Also, unless you've got a source of these, they've been discontinued by by Hornby. And in all honesty, I would say the TXS, the HM7000 ones, might be the way to go with their easy plug-in sound and power packs.
It gives you options for later.
It does give you options, and the power packs will improve reliability of running. Right, so we got on screen Roundtree Macintosh.
I like the way
number 3.
This one's different as well. I don't remember the
yeah, there are a lot
indentations.
of very subtle detail differences. I mean,
Yeah.
at some point we might get New Junction in.
Look
So
at
there they
that.
are
That
all
is
together.
So good.
So we might get New Junction in, who could possibly tell us some more information. So let's do the magic incantation.
New Junction. New Junction. New Junction. Not a cult.
Yes, not a cult, definitely not. Hanning's Rest Model Railway says, I filled the works car in a petrol station right across from Andrew Barclay's old offices, and they have a loco in the window. That sounds like it's like, you appear to have had a loco in the window. It's like, oh no, that won't buff out.
So I'm just going to put these in a folder.
Yeah, because you know how much I hate having clutter on my desktop.
You do, I know.
So, but what I hate even more is the fact that we are not being able to see the chat on screen. Hint, hint.
I know.
So, anyway, yes. So there's the Currascale O gauge.
I think I was very impressed. Jen,
DS88.
I have one question for you. Do we have a sponsor today?
Yes, we do. We have TMC. Your first choice for pre-ordering from any manufacturer, any manufacturer, as well as browsing their extensive stocks of new and pre-owned model. You can also upgrade any model that you find on there with just one click to a range of different custom weathering finishes, and maybe even go for a bespoke graffiti livery as well. So check them out, the link down below. So Retro Rambles, a big hello, says A up Jensen Germs. Oh, we're germs, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Gandalf moment there. Gandalf, come on the
I
board.
was waiting for you to stop talking. A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
You're welcome.
Right, Fly My Chairman 1 says there was someone asking us to how to run more than one loco on HM7000 earlier. On DCC, it's exactly the same as you would run multiple DCC locos, and on the app it's very much the same. You literally just flick between them. The locomotive that you flicked from will continue doing what you told it to do until you flick back to it, but you can hot flick between them very, very quickly, so it's not that much different from regular DCC. It's also the case that you could have 2 or 3 or more people in a railway room, and each takes on a different loco and can control them from their smartphone. So it's really actually quite flexible. Growler Blackwood, Engage Layout, big hello to you. Roger Woolstenholme, hello. There's a lot of people that appear to have been late here. Ham Shackleton
No one
says,
is ever late. A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
And Ham Shackleton, although your question's gone off the top, just to let you know, Hattons have now finally ceased trading. So,
Yes.
as promised, we will have our minute of silence. So that's our minute of silence for the end of Hattons, and it really is a sad day. After 77 years of trading, and we can now confirm, of course, as well, that MB Klein in the US has now wound down and closed. Richard Swiderski, well spotted. Is there a TARDIS hiding behind the trees?
Oh my goodness.
Finally, the TARDIS has been spotted, yes. Drivers Lad says, hi Jenny, read the HM7000. Have you ever had any problems getting the app to work after switching over to DCC control? I switched back to the app and now it no longer works on it, just DCC.
I've never had that issue.
I personally have not had that problem, although I do know a couple of other people who have. And all I can say is that sometimes bailing out of the app and doing a hard reset of the locomotive, i.e. lift it off the track. If it has a power bank, you might need to wait for about a minute or so, but if it doesn't, 5 seconds should be long enough, and go from there. I believe pretty much all of the issues that I've seen seem to be in the various Android versions of the app, and the iPhone version doesn't seem so afflicted.
Right.
Fat Wallet Boy 2 has just joined and wondered what the hell was going on. Yes, we were holding on 1 minute of silence for the end of trading of Hattons, which I believe took place just
last week.
Last
It
week.
was the end of last week. Right, Jen, I'm going to pop out and get you some Coke because you asked for
I would
that.
I would love a can of Coke. Actually.
Yes,
That
a
would
can
be
of
nice.
Coke by all means. YouTube algorithm that we're talking about the soft drink.
And yes, Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath says, Lifestyle Unleashed, I like the interview you did with Simon Kohler. Absolutely. Lifestyle Unleashed did a sit-down interview with Simon Kohler, which do check out after the stream. And
I believe it's been very popular. I saw it pop up on my
there's a
recommendeds.
couple of people done interviews at about the same time.
Yeah, he's been doing the rounds.
Yeah.
We said he wouldn't be away forever because
Oh,
he's
no, no, no.
basically Mr. Trains.
And also Ian Lavender, who played Pike. Don't tell him Pike! Has sadly passed away as well. Joe Light Railway says, I'm thinking of getting a 00 version of the Class 24 with 2 non-passenger coaches for my train set model railway. Well, that would be in keeping. They did run a lot of parcels trains. So if you either get a couple of GUVs, which are the general utility vehicles, or even things like the NEAs, the BGs, would be perfect additions to go with them. And actually, parcel trains, really quite an interesting area. And you can mix and match with a 4-wheel and bogie rolling stock as well. In fact, there's a whole rake there. We've got the Stania 50-foot brakes, 3 of them there, including, I believe, one which was a Hattons exclusive. And I've also got some CCTs and also a couple of other parcels wagons, vans as well. Ham Shackleton, Ian Lavender is the last one of the original cast of Dad's Army who's still alive, I believe. So is the guy who played the warden. Has he passed away? Let's have a look. What else we got? Roger Wollstonhouse says, good to be here, everybody. Good to have your company as well. This week I got my Class 56 in Load Hall livery and ordered a Class 60 in DB Red. Of course, Cavalex finally released their very long-awaited Class 56. It's been a long time in coming, but a lot of this is down to the fact that Cavalex have been very much on the ball to make sure that this is the definitive Class 56. I believe they can also represent in the tooling every single member of the class, which is something that previous manufacturers could never do. And this opens up the possibility to having some nice, accurate 56s for any period in time, including those built by Electroputer in Romania. So really looking forward to that. They also released photos of their EP for the Class 60, and that sounds like that's going to be every bit as good as the Class 56. Simon Chan says, yeah, Bill Pertwee. Yes, Bill Pertwee was the warden. Joe Light Railway asks, which is better, eBay or pre-owned? Now, I'm not really a fan of eBay. You can pick up bargains, but I find that these days the magic of eBay is gone and everything is just like top whack, gouge, gouge, gouge. So, in all honesty, I don't even bother looking on eBay anymore. I know some people can find bargains on there. It is still possible. But I actually prefer places like Clark Railworks. In 100% honesty, it's curated. You know what you're getting is good quality. Same with TMC secondhand, Rails of Sheffield secondhand, Great Eastern Models, Durham Trains of Stanley, Jim at the Loco Shed, Tim at Arcadia's secondhand table, Sawyer's Models overly. There's so many second-hand tables out there at various local retailers where essentially you know that the quality is it's backed by if there's a problem, you know where to go, you can actually view it before you buy it. And whilst in some, not all, but in some instances you might pay a little bit more, actually compared to eBay you're probably going to pay a bit less. But you know that you're not going to get gouged. So there's, I would say that check out your local model shops and don't be frightened of travelling a bit further afield to model shops up and down the country. I used to travel a huge amount with work, and it did mean that I could pop into various model shops. I used to go to Frising Hall Models on a semi-regular basis, 53A Models in Hull. I also used to go to Durham Trains of Stanley from time to time. And you know, I used to make it my mission. I even managed to get to Southampton Model Centre once. Yeah, well worth looking around. Right, Joe BVR says, one niggle with Clark Railways. They say there's a mark on X, Y, or Z, but never show the flaw in the photos. Conversely to that, I find that they are brutally honest. So they might say that there's a mark, and the reality is it's so small you'd be hard pressed to find it. I found that a lot, I found that how it's described is always actually worse than how it turns up. So I would say I wouldn't worry too much. Ben Tullett says eBay is expensive because eBay takes a huge cut out of the profit you make if someone pays online. Yeah, it's like there's a cut taken by eBay, a cut taken by PayPal. And I've heard a lot of horror stories as well of eBay always siding with the buyer, even when the buyer is clearly a scammer. So I've tended to just move away from eBay, and I have done for like the last 10 years. Driver's Lad says, does any NW? Does any NW viewers ever get to the Loco Shed in Whitefield? Cracking shop, and Jim, the owner, is a lovely chap. Yeah, we just mentioned them. Like an Aladdin's cave, well worth a frisk of his cupboards. Because he always has lots and lots of stuff in there. And let me just make sure that the camera comes up. It's being... oh, there we go. Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath says, Jim, the Loco Shed also goes to the East Lancs Railway when there are events on too. And of course the East Lancs Railway has some shops as well. There's one up in the main station building, but the one to go to is one of the Loco groups has a shop in, there's a Gov down on in what would be the Bay platform, in the stump of one of the Bay platforms, and you can, when it's open, they've got a good range of second-hand as well. There's also another second-hand shop underneath the main station building. You go down onto the platform and go back down around, and there's like almost like a garden shed down there. So there are some great bargains to be had as well at Preserved Railways. Skipsy Train says, okay, so I was a couple of minutes late at the beginning, so apologise if this has already been mentioned. I think you'll find that Gandalf is following Zoe out to the shop because there was talk of biscuits, but
a Monday clubber is
he
never
did
late
phone
to
in a
the
performance.
wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Sarah Davis says, I'm sure there was another train shop in Sheffield city centre near the train station. Now, I'm not aware of that. I know that there's Mark Way, is it MG Sharp, Mark Way, and another one in a row somewhere. But in all honesty, I just go to Rails. Especially if there's one of those shops that shall remain nameless because I had a very bad experience, which it turns out, looking online, I'm not alone with the bad experience. I'm told now it's by appointment only, so they probably also complain that they don't get many customers. Richard Swiderski says, sorry Jen, did you say you did a chat with Simon Kohler? No, Lifestyle Unleashed did a video chat with Simon Kohler. We did do an exclusive interview with him back when he worked at Hornby, but that's actually a couple of years ago now. Haunted Halloween Railway. Jake says Footplate is a good place to go in Kidderminster. Yeah, there's so many good local model shops out there, so we always recommend that you support your local model shop. Knockers Lane says JW Model Rail, best I've found. 156 Andrew says, hi Jenny and chat, sorry I'm late, just filmed a class 68 and 37 through Cumbernauld. Well, we're going to give you a blast of Gandalf has phoned in his performance. He's out looking for biscuits. What?
clubber
we
is
appear to
never
have a
late
flat
to
battery
the wagons,
situation.
nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Skipsy Train says there was a branch of Tags models in Fitterland Square, which is relatively close to Sheffield Station. Are they still there? I'm not aware of that one. Thunderbolt models of Coventry, says DJK666. Absolutely, yes. And they do stock as well South African outline models. I think Rhodesian Railways as well. A lot of stuff that you might not really find readily here in the UK, so well worth checking out. Skipsy Train says, I'm currently only going to Rails of Sheffield 5 times a week. Yes, but you work there, so if you weren't, I think John Barber would be like, what are we paying you for? I believe the other TARDIS has been spotted. Yes, the other TARDIS is there. Try to put it in the goods yard near the TMD, says Richard Swiderski. Pim1234 says the Netherlands is present. Excelente. Tags have long since gone, says Skipsy Trains. And Retro Rambles also confirms there are no model shops in Sheffield Centre anymore. I think once we lost Model Zone in 2013, that was always going to be an issue. Now, we are going to be doing a live stream, all going well, on Wednesday, short of work coming in for me from the film company. It's been a very lean month. January was quite quiet, and February is completely dead. So, as you can imagine, if work comes in, I might have to go and do it. But as of the last 3 weeks, there's been no work. So I'm working from home, doing videos and stuff. But on Wednesday, we're going to be looking to covering the Bachmann announcements. Now, I have heard rumours that some new tooling announcements, and knowing how Bachmann roll, it will most likely be there will be at least one item that gets announced out of the blue and it's like ta-da in the shops in a couple of days. B. Mozza says hi to you both, packing stock ready for Doncaster, and we'll have some new 3D printed items at the show. Now, I am not going to be at Doncaster as it stands. Unfortunately, didn't manage to find anybody willing to put up with me on their stand, so didn't get any invites to go there. It's not a problem. I am on the standby list again. If any of the layouts cancel last minute, I have said to them that I am prepared to take either Meneth Tatus or Four Seasons. Quite happy to jump in the car on the Friday and just whiz on over there if they need a layout. But as it stands, I'm not down to be there. John JMC, our guru of sound, it's great to see you. I hope I find you well. There's a degree of lateness there. So you do get a blast of Gandalf's phoned-in
A
performance.
Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to. Thanks,
Gandalf. New Western Grove says, sadly, the nearest model shop to me is in another county, is only accessible through the light rail service, the Tyne and Wear Metro, or a toll road. I'm guessing that... is that there's a shop in... There certainly used to be a shop in North Shields. I can remember going there in the late 90s. I don't know whether it's still there. It may well be, in which case do name check them. Didn't there used to be one in Sunderland? The only other ones I know round there, since the model zone in Newcastle Centre and in the Metro Centre are now sadly been gone for over 10 years, gosh, it goes quick, would be Durham Trains of Stanley, and there's also one at Chesterley Street in the old Methodist Hall. I'm sorry, its name escaped me. So the Monkey has returned with cans of Coke, which is the beverage of choice. Oh, Sarah Davis puts out Pooley's Puffers in Team Valley. Forgot about that. And yes, Haunted Halloween Railway Jake 2013 that we lost model zone. I see that the Monkey's favourite exceedingly good cakes from a Mr. Kipling have arrived.
They are baked well.
Indeed. Nick at Bletchton High Level says, spent 2 hours in TMC today. Lovely experience. It cost me £112 to get out. You got out lightly because they got a lot of good stuff there. So I'll have to have words with Alex Yates and say,
Speaking of getting away lightly,
you're letting them out too cheap. You need to Auntie Wainwright it up.
speaking of getting away lightly, oh my goodness, there is a drunk, drugged out guy.
Yes.
Causing trouble outside the co-op.
What's he doing exactly?
Dancing, threatening to attack people, and calling all of the staff snitches for telling on him.
Why, did the Rozzers turn up?
No, they're recording him for when it happens, though.
So, yeah, co-op near us. It's gonna get wild.
Yes.
So Lifestyle Unleashed says Enwin's 3D models next show is at Rainhill on the first weekend of March. We'll have new products including 009 buildings and a single Fairly.
Rainhill, home of the trials.
Exactly. DJ K666 also says Rocket Railways in Colville.
DJ K says he's the manager.
What, sorry?
The guy that's causing trouble. He says he's the manager. It would not surprise me around these parts.
Yeah, that's like, I woke up this morning in a skip, covered in my own vomit and a traffic cone on my head. Anyway, enough about me. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today.
Oh, to be honest with you, Frankie Boyle had some good jokes.
Yeah,
and here are some exceedingly good cakes. We won't be telling you who made them, but Mr. Kipling does do exceedingly good cakes.
Mark Rogerson says, so sorry, Jenny, potentially missed your response. Any Ali Pally for you this year? I'm hoping so. But again, you see, I now work for myself, effectively. I do work for the film company, but I work for
Where's Ali Pally again?
London.
Right.
Alexandra Palace. You know, the John Logie Baird, birthplace of TV.
I'm going to say, if we can, the company will get you there.
No. Look, don't worry about it.
If we can. I'm not going to promise it, but I'm going to say if we can.
Don't worry
It's an important one. I think it should be there.
Yeah, but yeah, we're hoping that I will get there, but we'll have to see.
Is Zoe still going to do an N-scale box layout? We were going to do it as this week's project.
I've just been,
but unfortunately,
so
we haven't had the time with Jenny doing the outdoor model railway and being ill.
You know, that ibuprofen sorted out my jaw.
I told you it would. That's why I kept telling you to use some.
So it'll probably be back when it wears off. Right, Nigel Colson, Mr. Kipling. I've never kippled, but I'm told it's Rudyard. And Joe Light Railway says there's a model railway exhibition at a heritage railway in Norfolk later this month. There's a lot. Keighley as well. The Keighley Model Rail Club have their exhibition on first weekend of March, and I will be there as guest of the club. So I'll be going with Iron Horse Railway. I believe that John JMC, our guru of sound, is exhibiting there. So what are you doing?
Rocket Railways, everyone. Yes, who's asked? It's still down.
Yeah.
They're rebuilding their website.
Big hello to Inoxian Models. Great to see it. There's some degree of lateness, Gandalf. Get that Mr. Kipling out of your mouth, Gandalf, and you let people know about being late.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor is he early. He arrived precisely when he means to.
Thanks, Gandalf. New Western Grove says, what was that? I saw a huge flicker of green out of the corner of my eye on this.
Sneezed.
Did you?
No.
Luckily, I might be able to twist my dad's hand to take me to Pooley's because there is a fish store on the same estate. Funnily enough...
everyone's pointing out something that you've got wrong. John Logie Baird is, of course, Scottish, so it wasn't his birthplace. Alexandra Palace is the first position of the BBC TV studios. John Logie Baird's TV experiments were at the Crystal Palace.
I knew there was a palace involved.
Yes. The Crystal Palace, that is no longer there.
John Logie Baird came from Helensburgh. Helensburgh? DJ K666 says, was it Gandalf outside the co-op?
No, but we have had a suggestion that
If
it was
you
the
don't
manager.
give me biscuits, I'm going to kick up. I'm going to make a spell that makes your whole shop turn to a frog. So, Paul Bryan says, Saturday, 17th of February, Tunbridge Model Railway Show. Angel Centre, Tunbridge, and New Mills Exhibition is on the 24th and 25th of February, says Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath. So there's a lot of great exhibitions. Preston Exhibition on the 2nd and 3rd of March, says Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath. And
Did I not open my Coke?
Apparently not.
I have a distinct remembrance of opening my Coke and then drinking some.
Well, then there's another Coke abandoned somewhere, but it's not up
There
here.
can't be.
Well, tough. Now, you may have seen me and assumed that I'm you. So yeah, there's
Okay, Knockers Lane has an interesting story.
I woke up in a skip. Christmas morning 1974, was homeless, was nice. Full of foam from a upholsterer's workshop. As long as it doesn't rain. Lifestyle.
I'm glad that you've got life back together again, because that can't be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. What was today's topic?
Today's topic is...
Can I just say, Zoe just dreams up these topics and then
Yes.
dribbles it out to me.
how to maintain interest in your modelling projects.
Yeah, and I think that I know we've got Inoxian models in and Lifestyle Unleashed, aka Enwin's 3D. And I think one of the ways of really adding some interest to your model is with some of the 3D printed products that are on the market, and do a kind of hyper detailing project is one good way of doing things.
Yes.
I think Tim Scale as well is another one that we've done a review of products of. So 3 good 3D printed, also at B Moza as well for 247 developments. We did talk a little bit about the 009 freelance rolling stock in last Wednesday's video. So it's a really good way of exploring some really quite interesting detail bits and pieces. So if you say have a shed or a goods yard, you can hyper detail it up, or even a farmyard with rusting farm implements and weeds is always a great way of adding some amazing interest to an existing railway.
Because doing that, it refreshes part of your existing model and brings in new interest. So it's a nice way of getting the best of both worlds, essentially. It's a new project, but it refreshes what you've already got. Because we always have a lot of people who do get a little bored every now and again. I think we all do. And sometimes having a little thing to just rekindle your interest really helps.
And Aaron Ville asks if there are lots of layouts using HM7000 Bluetooth at model shows. If the engines are all set to the same DCC number, will they all pick up the commands and do the same from one mobile app? No, because they have to be registered to your app. So anything that's on your app and registered to your app cannot be controlled by another person.
They've all got their individual addresses.
Yeah, they've all got individual MAC addresses.
Yeah.
Like literally every single decoder has a different MAC address, and they are locked to your software. So they will not respond to random commands, and it's also a very secure system.
Yes.
Just in the same way that if you're wearing a Bluetooth headset, that you won't end up with other people being able to connect and listen into your phone call.
It's the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
They've all got their addresses, which is why we had to expand the DNS servers to go to IPv6 and all that.
But with the HM7000, they just completely ignore other people's app. They may see them as an unconnected device, but you can't steal control.
No, it's very secure, and you don't need to worry.
And as far as I'm aware, in the same way that with Bluetooth, there's not really, if loads of people are using HM7000 in a exhibition hall, it's not going to cause an issue because effectively they ignore ones which are not on their network.
Yes.
So it's not a problem. You're basically peer-to-peer connected.
Yeah. Which is the best. It's the best way to do it.
Nick Girolamo says, Jen, can one run regular DCC and HM7000 from phones at the same time? Regular DCC, you can, if you've got an ExpressNet port on your DCC controller, so if you're running a Z21 or a Hornby Select with an ExpressNet port, they do a dongle which allows legacy control via the app. But otherwise, you will need to use your handset for the non-HM7000 locos. But right now, going around, I've got there's a couple of HM7000 locos doing the rounds. They're currently set to DCC, so they're being run through the NCE. But if I were to boot up the app and take control of them, the rest of the layout would run absolutely fine. I would merely control those that are registered with the app. And it was the case, actually, when I sent my camera train around Making Tracks 3, it was theoretically possible for me to take control of that locomotive, because I used my own locomotive, and it had the HM7000 decoder in. I could have theoretically taken control of that loco and run it independent to their control system, and it would have just simply leached its power from the track. Knocker's Lane says, how can HM7000 Bluetooth be NMRA when it will only work with certain DCC controllers? Soundtrack's Bluetooth has not got this problem. They work from any DCC controller. When they're in DCC mode, they work from any DCC controller. They're fully NMRA compliant. And it's actually, I think it's CV12 dictates whether it reacts to Bluetooth controls or to DCC controls. Don't ask me what to set CV12 as. The app does it automatically, but you can manually set the CV12. And actually, there was a question earlier on about somebody's decoder stopping responding through the app. You can look up what CV12 should be set to for it to work through Bluetooth. And what you may find is manually on your DCC controller writing to CV12 to tell it, hard tell it to respond to Bluetooth may fix your problem. New Western Grove says, do you need a HM7000 controller to change the sounds on a TXS chip, or do the chips connect to the phone via Bluetooth? Everything is done via the app on your smartphone. There is no controller. It's an app on your smartphone, just like if you download WhatsApp or the YouTube app or even a mail client on your smartphone. The Hornby DCC, the HM7000 is just another app like that, and it uses your phone's Bluetooth to connect directly to the decoder.
Okay, so we've been asked, would you do a special video about running HM7000? I'm going to actually post into the comments.
I already have.
Let me finish talking.
No. Oh,
I said I was going to put into the comments the video you've made on it.
Absolutely. Nigel Cole says, dongle isn't a rude word as long as you don't put it in the wrong port. Ooh,
yeah, never put it in the power socket.
Ooh, and yet you're making Topsy feel quite embarrassed. Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, it's great to see you. Been a while. Hope you are well. Lifestyle Unleashed says, I have to pop off. Don't forget Simon Cowler interview. Part 2 comes out this week. Part 3 next week with more to follow. Knocker's Lane says HM7000 will not work from a Digitrax DCC controller. It should do, because if it's set to DCC, then it should work from any DCC controller. Dongus Model Railway says the biggest thing I want out of Bluetooth controls is the ability to run one app and control multiple different manufacturers' decoders. Like I said, there is a dongle coming. I think it's the HM7070, something like that, which as long as your DCC controller has an ExpressNet port, gives the means for effectively what will happen is your phone connects to the dongle, which is plugged to the ExpressNet port. So you will then send the command to the dongle, which sends it to the controller and through the track. So you can control the regular DCC stuff via that route, but only if your control system has an ExpressNet port, which I think is a standard, and I think a lot of the Lens stuff uses it. The Hornby Select uses it as well, but I don't believe it's compatible with stuff like an NCE. Tim Krinsky, big hello to you, great to see you, I hope you're well. Says works fine on Digitrack's DCC mode. Yeah, this is the thing, it's the DCC mode, it should just work with everything, even your dirt cheap Bachmann starter set DCC system, it will work with. But bear in mind the limitations of, I think you can only use short form address DCC numbers on some of the very basic DCC systems. So Tim Krinsky, yeah,
that's not a limitation of.
That's a limitation of the controller, not the decoder.
I just thought it was necessary to point that bit out.
So, when that train moves that you see on your screen,
Beep, beep.
there's the Tim Krinsky Gronk that he very, very kindly sent to the channel. So thank you again.
It up.
Oh, we've been bold.
It up.
We've
Not
been
a cult.
bold by a class
The Locomotive cult is not a
05.
cult. For legal and tax purposes, your mileage may vary.
Angel of Crew, stroke RC Tamiya Rebuilds. Big hello to you. Dong's Mother Railway says Bluetooth. This feels like the 01 generation of Bluetooth. When we get an app to chip wireless protocol that is manufactured independent.
It will happen, but I don't think it's
I think the
happen for a
problem
while.
is at the moment that the NMRA has not got a Bluetooth standard. So we've seen Soundtracks come up with theirs for the Blue Army. I think there's also Blue Rail by Tam Valley Railroad, which I think, don't quote me on this, but I think that's what Bachmann used for their Blue Lightning sets. And then you've also got the Hornby HM7000. Now, do bear in mind, there was a little hint with the Hornby announcements that HM7000 is going to be integrated into some of the other Hornby Group ranges. That means Juef, Rivarossi, Lima, all of these other continental outlines may well be coming on stream to use HM7000.
I'm just remembering that video they did one time where they put the body of a Gronk onto a Scale Extra car and raced it around. That would be so funny.
Tim Krinsky says, LOL, send it to TMC for a rename. It might do, actually. It might come back as a Mega Gronk.
Mega Gronk.
Mega Gronk.
Mega Gronk.
Joe Light Railway says, I'm heading off now, Jenny. Bye. But you take great care. It's been absolutely amazing
Thanks
having
for
your
coming
company. And we'll hopefully see you next time. Breezer707 says HM7000 is a fantastic system. I would agree with that. Hattons had a load on discount. I got 8 locos on the system. Only problem is I have getting the locomotive to hold for a set time on the ABS. Yeah, the automatic braking system, the ABC shuttle. I had a lot of issues with that as well. I believe that there is a way of doing it, but it's when that first came out, it didn't seem to respond as expected. It would sort of go in, stop, and then immediately reverse. That, I believe, in the updated profiles has been fixed, and what you may find is that certain profiles have been upgraded to a newer version. You will have to fully reinstall it to get the updates, but certainly I had issues back in the early days. Did get it to work, just couldn't get it to linger in the ABC sections. But yeah, I got some of the decoders as well, and it was amazing to see just how quick they sold. They had several hundred, and they just went in a day. GR Railway, big hello to you. Says, can you change the chuff rates on HM7000? Yes, you do it manually, just as you would actually with pretty much any other sound decoder. It's about changing CVs, but you're getting into areas that I don't know a lot about.
You did do a
John
a
JMC,
guide.
our guru of sound, is probably the man to ask.
You did do a guide on changing the CV settings, and in fact, I was very surprised in the video where you tested HM7000 that you were able to change them on the fly as it was running.
Right, important here. First of all, Ben says, has a company made a Class 13 shunter double grog? No. You can, for a very expensive price, get one custom made, or there are kits available to have a go at making one yourself.
I think Iron Horse actually did
Iron
one.
Horse has done one.
Yeah.
Peachy TT120 says, talking of stay alives, has anyone seen that Cheltenham models have the HM7070 power bank as discontinued? They are not discontinued. Now, the reason for this is, I think the way that the Hornby system handles things that go out of stock. Now, usually, when a model goes out of stock with the wholesaler, that's it, done and dusted. But there's certain evergreen items that will just keep being replenished from the factory. Track being one of them. But the power banks is another. There is another batch of power banks en route, but they have proven unexpectedly popular because they are very good. And it's quite hard to get hold of them. So if they're getting marked as discontinued, that's just a quirk of the Hornby retailer ordering system, I think.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. They are going to come back into stock. I will chase that up with the Hornby beta group. But I was told when I asked a couple of weeks ago that it would be a number of weeks. And yes, Breezer 707 says, Jen, just to let you know, the new Hornby Class 423 VEP are out. Yes, they do look really, really good.
I've just got to say one thing.
Where did you get that
while Jen's
from?
coughing. It was on the table.
Oh.
This tiny DCC Concepts rolling roller attachment has an awful lot of look of a very surprised robot. Or perhaps a reel-to-reel tape recorder.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
on the table, Jen.
I would love a Hornby Class 423, but at the moment I can't justify it. But some of the liveries really are quite nice. I'm not normally a modern image modeler, but the one in the shades of green and white, I can't remember which one it is. I don't do modern image, but it looks amazing. So certainly is something worth taking a look at. Knockers Lane says, shortage of HM stay alives. I've been using DCC Concepts wired into the HM solder pads. Works fine. That's interesting to know.
Good to know.
And Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath says, shipping delays due to the Red Sea, possibly. So you may
Yeah.
well look at an additional 2 weeks transits.
The world is in an interesting situation right now. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, and Dongit's Mother Rower says, that's the unique Southern livery. Only one ever painted in that livery. I really do like it, actually.
Which one was that again?
The Class 423.
Okay.
B2000 RO Toys channel says, hi Jenny and Zoe, my G-Scale Henry is almost complete. Now he needs couplings each end and a DCC Thomas sound module. Excellent. John Walters says, hello from Hallith Wood. Sorry I'm late.
Hello from down the road. Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
I'm just waiting for Gandalf to climb up the stairs.
Yeah. Has he been stuffing his face?
Clubber is never late to the wagons, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Oh, he's gone. Thanks, Gandalf.
Thank you. Talk to the nice people. I mean,
But yes, so we have a topic tonight of keeping yourself interested, basically avoiding burnout and avoiding boredom with your projects. And I think the best way to do it is to not do the same thing day in, day out every time that you sit down for your hobby. Have a few projects here and there. And sometimes if you find something's dragging a bit, switch to another little bit, and all of a sudden it's like you're back doing something new again. It's fresh. That's how I would take it for the most part.
Aaronville asked, Jenny, which setting in HM7000 app is to turn on for ABC for the logo? I don't know off the top of my head. I did do a video on it.
The guide that we've been linking will tell you.
It's something like CV27. It does kind of lead you through. Do it in the app. It does lead you through.
Yeah.
CV27, and then you need to scroll further along. You'll notice there's like 2 or 3 other CVs that open up for you to be able to edit them. And they do things like change the dwell time, things like that. GR Railway says, I wish someone like EFE Rail will buy the toolings for the Hattons Andrew Barclays.
Which actually ties in with what Ben Davis was asking.
It says, do you know if Hattons are doing the Andrew Barclay and P class? I believe they are, but I don't know how this works at this moment in time. The tooling will almost certainly turn up elsewhere. It is a valuable asset, so they would be foolish not to sell it if they no longer wish to continue. But,
I honestly cannot see that not being sold somewhere. Because, like you say, it's too valuable. It exists. Someone's going to want to make that. So, guys, we will be starting the videos in about 15 minutes. So, if you have any that you want to share, then send a link. That's specifically a link. Don't send the video itself. Send a link from something like YouTube to zoe.robinson@gmail.com. Flymo Chairman 1 has put that link into the chat. So thank you very much, Flymo. You're always on top of things, and we do appreciate it.
Yeah, I think somebody was asking last week about that, because I don't think we told anybody how to do it. And we always forget that we tell the regulars so many times. We missed a week, and a newcomer...
Unfortunately, it does happen.
They did manage to send me the thing, and I forwarded it to the address. So hopefully that will come up this week.
I probably got it.
So, John Walter says, my brother thought your setup was live outside. No.
Well, that is a great compliment. Thank you so much. Because that is a hell of a compliment.
Live outside?
Yeah. If you thought it was good enough to look real.
Oh. Robin Slewer, really good to see it. Our model row exhibition was on Saturday and Sunday just gone. I'm not sure which one it was, but we seem to be in the exhibition season. And actually, I said when we were talking about the end of Worley, one of the things I said was actually a lot of these more local model railway shows, I think, have a lot more to offer than the big ones, which maybe have their day. Mark Wilson has taken some time out from waxing the DeLorean to venture on in. Great to see you. I hope you're well.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just reading down. The comments are starting to move quickly now.
Yeah, they do
Maura Curran says, big hello to you. Says, all I have is a power supply on my phone, and I've installed decoders into 3 engines. Yes, Hornby do, and I think
you've got it somewhere nearby, haven't you?
It's hanging around somewhere in a box, but they do sell just a power supply.
Are you sure it's in a box? Because didn't you plug it in to run your garden layout?
No, I moved over to using my Gauge Master because I wanted to be able to use regular DCC out there as well. But yes, you can buy, I think it's about £40 or something, and it's just like a power supply. But it's important that you don't use just any power supply. The reason for this is it needs to have very, very quick short protection. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if a short happens, then it has to cut the power within like nanoseconds. Otherwise, it will pop the decoder. And that is why you need to use the Hornby power supply unit. It doesn't mean to say that it's the only one that will work, but it's the one that they guarantee will work.
Yes.
And
if you
it's
use
also
older
why
stuff, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of DC controllers, yes, it will work when you put the thing on the track, but it's fine until you have a short, and then it'll pop your chip. And that's what the problem is. If you don't have a short, it's not a problem. But you can't guarantee that, and all it takes is one short to destroy your £60 decoder. So it's also why you can use the DCC power systems to leech the power, because they have that short protection to protect regular DCC decoders.
Yeah.
New Western Grove says, especially the TXS Stay Alive will be good for my LNER Wi-Fi based off Hornby GWR 101 because that still cuts out on Pico points. Yeah, the power bank for the TXS really is good. I use them in my O-Gauge Garden Railway, but you can actually fit it into some quite small locos. I've had a lot of success actually with some of the really small Next 18 models, such as the Planet Industrial's Victory class. I've got the power bank in there, and that thing is just like, it is a machine. It is a total unit when it comes to just not being phased by anything. And funnily enough, the Bachmann V1 V3 tank is the same. Plenty of space in that, not just for the Next 18 decoder, but also for the power bank. And that is a total unit on the track.
Now, someone just pointed out something very interesting when they mentioned that you could use apps on a Chromebook. Chromebook isn't technically Android, but it does allow the use of Android apps because it's a different operating system than standard Android, but it has Android compatibility. So I'm wondering, could you use TXS on a Chromebook?
Do you have a Chromebook?
No, but my mum does.
You could try it.
It might be worth
if you
borrowing
can get
it.
the app on it.
Yeah. I
Keep
think we'll
talking.
have to investigate it because that is very interesting. Imagine that you could have your little computer running stuff. That would be very. I would like to see that. Yeah.
Breezer707 says, "Hi Jen, did you know the Brighton H2 class at the Bluebell is due to return to Steam in August?" Well, it's not a return to Steam; it's a new build, isn't it? So it's one which actually I've followed on and off since they started. And it's a really interesting project and certainly would love to see that up and running. And Ben Davis says, "Jennifer, I hope in the Bachmann range this week," so that's Wednesday. Hopefully we'll be covering that in a live stream. We get the T3 London and South Western Railway green. Plus, oh, it's just gone off the top. Can you roll us back a little bit? Class 37 in Lorem look amazing. London, Brighton and South Coast Railway Brown I3. And the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway Brown C2. And the Z class in BR or Southern Railway. The Z class is definitely one which gets requested a lot. I think it's only a matter of time before a manufacturer, not necessarily Bachmann might have been working on it, but a manufacturer go for it. I'm pretty certain, in fact, actually I've been told that a manufacturer is working on the T3, just I don't know which. I suspect it could well be Bachmann, because the T3 has returned to Steam, and it would logically be that there's been enough notice of that happening for a manufacturer to have timed the release of their model for it coming out. The fact that it wasn't included in the Hornby announcements means very likely for me for it to be a Bachmann one. Possibly EFE, but I think it's more likely to be Bachmann. New Western Grove says, "Using a Chromebook for HM7000 reminds me of the old Hornby E-Link for PCs."
Well, whatever works, to be honest with you.
Oh, Worthington Model Railway says, "Have to go. Flying to Florida for the rest of the week."
Oh, very nice.
Ew.
Have fun. Have fun.
Are you doing Disney? You've got to do Disney if you're going to Florida. Peachy TT120 says, "Jenny, have you seen Cheltenham models? Have the Hornby still?" Yeah, we just talked about that. It's a quirk of the Hornby dealer ordering system, I think. I don't know this 100%.
They're not discontinued. They will be back.
They will come back into stock. But I think that it's not been marked as an evergreen product. And what usually happens with things like items of rolling stock or locomotives is when they go out of stock, that's it, done and dusted. They don't do another batch of exactly the same thing. And it strikes me as perhaps the TXS stuff has not been marked as being an evergreen product. What do I mean by evergreen? Well, I mean it just stays in stock. The demand has been higher than expected. It's been incredibly successful. And I think buoyed by the fact that in the Hattons sale, they sold hundreds of HM7000 decoders in a single day. I think there's been a huge run on power banks, and it's just sold out. And arguably, I think the ratio of power banks to decoders, they've probably thought, oh, well, you know, maybe we'll do, say, 20% or 25%, or I don't know the figures, or 50%. And what's happened is more people than they anticipated have paired their decoder with a power bank. So obviously the decoders are still available, but the power banks have sold out. There is another batch on the high seas. I queried this a couple of weeks ago. I was told about 4 weeks transit time. They had been made. They were on their way. But I suspect that they're in a container that's been diverted around the Cape of Good Hope, which I believe adds anywhere up to 2 weeks to transit time. So it may mean a few more weeks, but rest assured the power banks are en route. Now, it's funny actually, because Cheltenham Model Centre, I had a look at them over the weekend and saw that they still listed the power banks as in stock. Clearly they have now sold out. Tim at Arcadia did have some. I managed to get some from Tim, but they've probably sold out now. It's simply a case of go through some of the lower traffic retailers and see if you can find stocks, if you really need the power bank. There will be lower traffic shops out there that do still have some stock, but it is dwindling. Like I said, Cheltenham Model Centre showed them as being in stock over the weekend. They have now sold out. John Copping says, have to go. Great. Have a great evening, folks. Well, you take care. It's been great having your company. DJ K666 says that wholesaler thing means I won't be able to get a Caroline in the near future unless there's another batch. There may well be another batch with some livery or detail differences, perhaps. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout says perhaps Bachmann will announce a retooled Class 170 in the Graham Parish range. Dongate's Model Railway says Hornby are still learning how to be a shop. Ben Davis says Jennifer, the T3 would go with the EFE Rail London South Western Railway cross country 4-coach pack. I didn't get a set of those. I meant to get some, and then for whatever reason I didn't. But they looked amazing. Wow, Knockers Lane says just had a look in my DCC box. Wowsy, I have 6 Hornby power banks. So you're the reason there aren't any out there. They're like gold dust at the moment, but you know, bear in mind there are some coming in the next few weeks. Howard Pomfret says, Jenny, are you going to Doncaster? I've got no immediate plans. I haven't got any invites to go there, but I am on the reserve list again, just like last year. If somebody drops out unexpectedly last minute with a layout, then I have told them that I'm more than happy to step in and take something like either Minith Tatus or the Four Seasons layout. Breezer707 says Bluebell Railway gift model shop still had some of the power banks. So yeah, like I said, they are still out there, but you have to hunt around and be prepared to go to some of the lower traffic model shops and you know, check with them. Check Hereford Model Centre. I don't know whether they're sold out, but you know, Durham Trains of Stanley, Sawyer's Models, Jim at the Loco Shed. A lot of these places do check them out. Give them a call. Ask them if they've got any in stock. I'm sure they'll post them out if you want to buy them. Iron Horse Railway says it's worth noting, guys, you can solder any 2-wire stay alive to a TXS decoder. The tabs are behind where the existing socket is. Easy. I know, but soldering, a lot of people, it's like witchcraft, that, isn't it? Evergreen Junction asks, are you at the Alexandra Palace show? I am hoping to be. Not yet confirmed, but hoping to be. DJ K666 says, I'm definitely going to the NEC in April. Just need to soothe my wallet a bit. And Steve's Double O Gauge says, how do everyone? Hello to you, great to see you. And a degree of lateness implied. So Gandalf is buried hat deep in the biscuit barrel.
A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Much appreciated for your phoned-in performance. Yeah, Iron Horse Railway says, yeah, it can get a bit bottom twitchy getting the iron out. Raymond Legg says, what makes people lose interest are bad models and fuddy-duddy rivet counters. See, I just ignore the rivet counters, but certainly people who criticise other people's models online can be a bit of a downer. I know that some of the other YouTubers, smaller YouTubers, I know one in particular, been talking with them quite a bit. Yes, Peter Jackson, Jill Heath, we will be showing some videos in a moment when the monkey gets back. But I know that sometimes Mojos can take a knock, and actually a guy I've been talking to, his modelling is absolutely fantastic. It does make it boils my wee when some people troll online and criticise other people's modelling. But you know, in terms of refreshing a layout, we've talked about 3D printed items, do a hyper detailing project. But also new trees. I've done a few videos on making trees. You can really improve a layout by making some really nice bespoke trees. Also refreshing the grass area. I know that when I started making models, I hadn't discovered static grass, and when I got a static grass applicator, I actually went around and updated all of the grass on Weir Yard. And it went a huge way to, in my mind, really improve a lot of the models. So
not just improving, just refreshing it. It gives it a good
new
look.
And quite, you know, if you're starting to get a bit bored with your model, maybe it's felt like it's the same for a long time. Just little detailing projects with, especially stuff like bushes, trees, grass, can really go a long way to taking a layout that might be feeling a bit tired in your mind and making it fresh and interesting again. New Western Grove says, what made me lose interest for a while was space, because 00 gauge is the cheapest I went with, but then until recently I didn't have the space or money for a layout. Yeah, a lack of space. I mean, sometimes you think, I'd like to do X, Y, and Z, but I've got nowhere to do it. That can always be difficult, but sometimes it's a case that actually you've got to find a way of fitting within your space. You can still find interesting things to do without making that 14 platform station. Richard Knowles says, I've noticed that Barry Davis, who is notorious for trolling and slating others, has disappeared. I guess people come and go. I got some trolls on burner accounts trying it on a few days ago.
Whenever a video goes to a certain level,
when you're
views,
successful.
And not necessarily successful as a person, just successful on a video in general. If it starts to get a bit of traction, you will get grief from people. And it doesn't matter who you are, everyone gets it. And the fact is, these people don't matter. And if you wouldn't have taken a compliment from random Joe number 574, then you wouldn't take criticism, would you?
And actually, it's interesting. I was watching a video with Gordon Ramsay being interviewed.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And one of the things that he said is that the worst critics, the ones who were just like, they make it personal. It's, when you boil down into it, it's because they're jealous of your achievements. They want to be you because they see you as having achieved. And when you start to realise that with critics that make it personal, then actually they're quite sad and tragic individuals that, you know, they've been motivated to publicly say what they've said in such a personal way because they're jealous of what you're doing.
But from my view is, I'm not going to take much from a random compliment from some random burner account. So why would I take the criticism from a random burner account?
James Spinks Railways asks, any news on Grove Street Yard renaturing?
You'll have to ask Warbler Productions.
Warbler Productions, who I'm not seeing him in today. So
Warbler hasn't been in tonight. Maybe they're busy.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Warbler has it. It's got a new name. It's been re-dealt with.
I keep forgetting what he's renamed
I
it to.
can't remember
But
either,
yeah,
but
Grove Street Yard is under new management with a new name and going from strength to strength.
It looked pretty good last time we saw it. Speaking of seeing things, we've got an
People
update.
have been at what?
We've got an update.
On what?
Remember last week, Mark Rogerson sent in a picture of
yes,
of a
the footbridge that he was
footbridge.
building. Yeah,
now
really
it looks rather good, doesn't it?
That has come out incredibly well.
Yes.
It's like the Southern Railway prefabricated concrete footbridges.
Yes.
Which very similar to the Hornby 00 footbridge.
Well, I'd like to show you something very interesting because I've just got to switch back to the other camera for a moment because we have had a second email.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
Here's what it looks like now.
Oh, I like the with the paint.
Yeah.
That has
How
turned
good
out
does that
really
look?
well.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with this build.
It is
using like
impressive.
plaster type components and stuff. This has come out really, really well.
It's amazing.
J. Paul Anderson is late.
Hello and welcome, Gandalf.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Thanks, Gandalf. So yeah, this looks fantastic.
This has come out really well.
I love the way he's done
That crisp and clean painting as well, where they got the wooden.
The wood looks amazing.
Yeah, because it's not a single colour; it's almost like a wash. Which wood is not one colour. So this is really nice. This has turned out incredibly well.
Yes,
really
it really
impressed
has.
with this.
I'm amazed.
And of course, the other thing as well to point out is when you custom make things like footbridges, you can make them to any width you want. So this is a particularly good idea. Say if you've got 3 or 4 tracks, or even more, if you want a footbridge that spans an entire yard. They did exist, and they just had intermediate supports between tracks to extend them wider and wider. So this has turned out really, really well. John Walton says East Lancashire Railway Diesel Friday going this week. It's our local railway. We should go at some.
And there's the footbridge he's basing it on.
Right.
I recognise that little blue chap back there.
Oh, it's Larry the Locomotive. Yeah, the most foul-mouthed locomotive in all of TV. No, that
has come out incredibly well.
That has come out incredibly well.
Really, really well.
Mark Wilson, our waxer of the DeLorean as well, says lovely modelling, and that is high accolade indeed.
Yes, that is definitely high praise.
So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Really
Mark
great
Rogerson
project.
says it's all plastic hard I-beams and Costa coffee stocked for the stars, stairs and flooring.
Yeah, actually, Mark Rogerson, he's there in the chat. He says, thank you for sharing. I dyed the wood with tea and then used some watered down paint to lighten it.
That is a fantastic. This is exactly why I love this part of the show.
Actually, I mean, that's a similar idea to you can get inks. Ink can also do that kind of washed out, almost like a colour wash. And you can get like artists' inks, and then you can water it down. Don't use it neat, and you can use that as a wash. And quite often, washes are very good for things like wood.
There's one thing that I would suggest if you're going to go down the artist's ink route. You need archival quality India ink. If you're going to use blacks, you need archival quality
black's
India.
Quite because it's a bit like that Father Ted sketch. It's like it's not black; it's just very, 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 very dark blue. And when you water it down, the blue comes through.
Well, not just that. If you want it to last, you need archival quality. The majority of black inks fade.
But right, so what have we got up next?
So yeah, Mark was just saying he's done it with tea and he's proud of his build. I think you're damn right to be proud of your build. To be honest with you, that was fantastic. And this is why I like this part of the show.
Yeah.
The tips, I wouldn't have thought of dyeing them in tea, but it's a
And
great
actually,
idea.
Mark Rogerson does make a good point there. So the only thing I'd suggest with staining, beware of expansion.
Yes.
Stain before cutting and fixing, otherwise I guess
Yes.
it might then start to push things apart. So good bit of advice there.
Yes.
And SHGP Media says, I used the same technique to make an anti-tank gun emplacement.
That's a great idea, yeah. So we've got an interesting thing from Hanning's Rest. He says, I wish I could do stuff as well as that footbridge. Here's the thing. No one starts out excellent.
It's like riding a bike.
Not
Practice
just that,
makes perfect.
You can actually go to one of my websites and see the difference that practice makes. Have a look at my first ever drawings on my webcomic compared to the latest.
Yeah, Zeb Harris says, hi Jenny from snowy Norway. Oh, nice.
Hello.
So snowy. Gosh, we didn't really get snow this year. It was most disappointing. We had one day of snow here.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a degree of lateness. Topsy's getting excited because his favourite wizard's just
A
arrived.
Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Yeah, Phil Metcalf says, yep, the black ink on my arms has faded and looks dark blue. Knockers Lane says, India ink reminds me of when me and my mates from Borstal done our own tattoos.
Yes.
It's like a henna tattoo, fades over time. Right.
Not necessarily, no, you do it right.
Anyway.
So we've got an interesting thing coming up here. Phil Metcalf says he's got a K2 chassis cheap to try and make a cheap toy engine. Might have to make a blue stuff mould and do a tinted clear resin ghost train, which is a really nice idea.
Right, okay, so there
we've
we
got
go.
this, and it looks rather cool.
It looks a bit like, it's one of the Manchester Ship Canal type locomotives. What are the ones where they've got like a gearbox at the front and then jack shaft drive? Were they the Fowlers? But certainly
I thought we shot it from the side. It's a very interesting model.
Yeah, and not unlike some of the Java sugarcane railway locomotives. There's one of the, at least one of the sugarcane plantations uses similar looking locomotives that have like almost like a step at either end.
I'm just trying to read what that says there, and
it's Kato, it's Japanese.
I know 5 of those symbols.
Oh, good for you.
But not in that context.
Yeah. David Scott
dear.
says, just wait until Thursday, Jenny. Oh,
What's happening on Thursday?
Day after the Bachmann announcements.
Day after the Bachmann announcements.
Richard Nelson, I think those were brush locomotives, and there's a lot of actually East German locomotives ended up in Java.
So thank you very
and
much,
Japanese.
Phil, for that. That looks really cool. I do like the idea of a ghost train, though. That sounds great.
Yes, you do. Right, who have we got next?
So, we have PVA J. Cloth Allen at Buckland Junction. He says, here's part 2 of a coal loading stage. Ooh, so I think we've seen this. I'm going to press this button. No, that's no. Stop. Ah, I pressed it the wrong way. That wasn't supposed to happen.
I think right click is the way ahead.
Yes, I pressed it the wrong
Knockers
way.
Lane says it's snowing like Billy-O here. David Scott says,
Why is he snowing?
they're talking about snow. David Scott says snow warning. And I think we're down for rain. Bolton gets rain. That's all we get is rain.
My Alexa was telling me that we're on...
Doncaster Mother, I don't know what... Oh, we had a Billy's replacement speakers!
Yeah. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Here we go.
Oh,
so
James
if you bring
Pets.
this up...
I do approve of James Pets. He has arrived quite late, but he has arrived. So, always do enjoy our visits to this layout. This is Bridge Heaven.
Phil Metcalf says that was a Gronk resized to fit on the chassis. Ah, very cool.
Turned out nice. Turned out nice again. Leaning on my lamppost. But always do love our visits to this layout because there's so much in the way. It's like a rabbit warren of bridges.
Roger Wilson says, I got the right symbols, just not in the right order. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I need to upgrade my Japanese, let's put it that way. So this is a very nice
it would appear that the music it was playing was the Specials Ghost Train.
Oh,
Yeah, but we don't want a copyright hit.
No.
Which, ironically, if you let it play the adverts off YouTube on a live stream, it will hit you then with copyright.
Yes, because it's copyrighted.
Yeah.
So this is the cool thing that he's doing.
So I mean,
Very
these sort of like 1950s style prefabricated buildings are actually a great way of venturing into scratch building.
Yes.
Because they're actually reasonably simple. Actually, on Grove Street Yard, I built a few using card and balsa to represent the kind of concrete beams with the kind of bricked in bits.
Oh, what's he doing here? Is that plaster, Jen?
I'm not. It looks like PVA and something. I'm sure.
Is he doing his special technique? Yeah, coloured stuff.
If you mix colour in, then it actually is really good, because then if it chips, you don't get white spots.
Yeah.
It's
a great idea.
So that looks like, I'm going to say, some kind of plaster, or I'm guessing there's some PVA in the mix.
Oh, I love the texture stippling effect. Yes.
Putting it on with a sponge, you don't have to put everything on with a paintbrush, and this.
It's such a good idea because it gives you the texture built
in.
in.
So you get like a texture.
That is
and he's
so
put the paint in to give it the colour.
And there you are. You can see. Oh, that is amazing.
That has worked really, really well.
That is so good.
So we've got that concrete finish. PVA and speckled hen.
I love it.
And Ben Tullett says, I hope it's not very bad porridge. Well, you wouldn't want to eat it.
That is a great idea. Right, let's see if we... Oh! He's painted bits of it and textured. Oh!
So, there's going to be... I'm guessing there's going to be a piece of track across there. So this is like a coaling tower.
Yeah. This is so good.
This has come together really nice. And then Mystery Locomotive, Triang B12, painted... Oh, right.
Painted by his dad, my goodness.
Wow, so that'll hold some memories.
Yeah.
I think it needs a bit of TLC.
He's had it since he was 5. Oh my goodness.
Nice. Snow Thursday here in North Stuff, so we might get snow.
We're on a warning for snow.
Krista Duke says we have rain. So yeah, I've done a lot of
work. To jump this to that is such a good look.
I've done a lot of work actually on the Garden Railway. This Friday there's going to be another update on the Garden Railway, and I've already started filming the update after the update. So what have we got?
Yeah, he's put the lines in. He's taken
we've got the rails
out.
Yeah.
Put the lines in.
Nice.
Coal, real coal.
You do need to have something like IPA, which I'm sure is used to make sure, because coal's a bit of a pain when gluing like this. I've seen a lot of it happen where you get a crust that's glued, and then it's not actually glued underneath.
Hyrian says, "Are Metcalf good if fiddly?" Metcalf models are fantastic. I highly recommend them.
Absolutely.
I love making those ones.
That's coming out quite nicely.
Good. Yeah, that's looking real good.
Yeah.
This is going to be super impressive.
So, did you get the one that I forwarded to you?
I don't know.
So, right. So he's going to effectively... He's ballasted around the rails with more coal, so we get that kind of... That is coming out actually really well.
This is such a good model. I love it. I might have put down a bit of newspaper underneath to make cleaning up easier, but I love it.
You'd never do that. You just make the mess and walk away.
No, I always put a tray down.
So that's come out really quite nicely.
Yeah, it really has. And of course, because he's doing it by hand, they look different.
Yeah.
So
these are going to look really great. So do we get any views of it?
Yes.
So here we are. That
is cool.
So it's a coal tower.
And a gronk. Yes.
Oh,
very good for
that's actually turned out really, really well.
That is something
really
special.
Really well.
Yeah, that I am super impressed. That is wonderful.
So that side will be where the coal thing would theoretically go up and get tipped into the hopper, and the other side is where it actually gets loaded into the turnover. Right, so thank you so much for sharing that with us.
That's fantastic.
Pressed the button. Ben Tullett says, I like these scratch-built collie tones. Yeah, we get some really great ideas from these. And you don't need to spend a lot of money. Love the texture, says Mark Rogerson. Yeah. Flower Chenwood says, they're all right as far as I use... Oh, sorry, answering somebody else's question. Namer Gamer YT says, cuppa time, who wants one? We're good with Cokes, actually. I'll have a Coke.
Oh, hokey cokey.
I'll have a Coke if you can help me out there, Monkey. John Walter says, good thing you ain't got any pets with your trains.
So, yes. Pets can become a feature, let's put it that way.
Right, this was sent last week,
From
because it was a newcomer to the channel.
Junction, sorry.
Chobberton Junction. So, we have got it. We've had to forward it from one account to the other, but we have done that because this is really impressive.
This is a kit-bashed scale model scenery kit of the old barn that they built from scratch, and they scratch-built the diorama.
And this is actually come out really nicely. So I'm gonna.
I'm loving these scratch builds.
Look at this.
When I first saw this, I thought it was real.
Absolutely, look at that, and with the overgrown detail, with the ivy and the trees as well that frame the scene.
Yeah, the framing with the back scene in the back. That is just superb.
It's really nice.
Thank you so much for sending this in. That is super
Alan
impressive.
Reynolds at Buckland Junction, aka PVA J-Cloth. Alan says, thanks so much for showing my scratching. Absolutely, thank you so much for sharing with us.
I love that. Cats running out of the tunnels. Yes, they become a feature of your models.
And yes, the TARDIS has been spotted. I should move. Both TARDISes have been spotted, so I'm going to move them over for Monkey of Madness.
This is just wonderful. This is the kind of place that if I was a kid, I'd have had to look around, even though I'd be told not to.
yes, you would, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Raymond says that's a photograph of a real barn. It really does look that good.
So I don't know whether Chobberton Junction is in tonight, but this is really superb.
John Waters, yes, the story of the old empty barn.
Yeah, Mark Wilson, Waxer of the DeLorean, says, wow. And that is high praise. Absolutely. So, and look, you even see like the ruts for where vehicles have driven, the rundown gate.
Yeah.
There is so much going on. And this takes us back, I guess, to tonight's theme. You don't need a lot of space, but you could imagine just take a little corner of your layout and build something like this. A nice little scene where you can go to town, hyper detailing, with weathering, and you see the subtle use of greenery with the ivy on the walls and over the dry stone walls, and then the ground cover as well. There's so much going on, and you could imagine as well 3D printed farm implements weathered up and put into the farmyard. There's so much you can do with this, and I love the way it's framed by those trees.
It's a very, very good shot.
And it goes back to what I said before about actually, custom making trees. I've done several videos on that. And yeah, Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath says the ivy up the side is really good. Absolutely. So thank you so much to Chobberton Junction for sharing that with us. Let's. I'm going to press that button.
Oh, you are you?
So, who have we got next?
Wow, that is the question, isn't it?
H2O We says, I build my bridges all wood, no plastic, covered or open. And actually, balsa wood is a very good building material in model form, and actually quite strong. It will support the weight of a train. Scale model scenery, I think he said, the kits at Knockers Lane. But certainly, it has been customised so well. Ben Tullett says even arriving and detailing older buildings is an affordable option. Loads of those plastic Hornby kit buildings with the peeling away stickers that could be recovered with stone brick effect paper. Yes, and actually, Les Cliff, not Lothian Model Railways, did an amazing job with some of those old Hornby buildings. I've seen him do one of the old station buildings, like the old 80s style ones, and one of the little overbridges as well. He just transformed them in minutes. So who have we got
next
here?
Up we have a video from Evergreen Junction.
Press play.
Who's asked us to
Oh,
play
this
from
is
a
nice.
certain point in. And yeah,
I
wow.
So that looks like that's the Metcalfe brewery kit, but that is really shows a great way of filling a corner of your layout.
Yeah, that looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Quite often the corners. Oh,
Mirrored
look, the mirror.
back scene.
Oh, I hadn't realised, but that works so well. And again, a great way of making your layout look bigger. Use of mirrors.
That is so good.
Mark Wilson uses mirrors on his Swindon erecting shop scene. New Western Grove says, I've heard that tips about buying second-hand models, but what about selling second-hand models? I've never done it. I'll be honest, I don't know. Oh, well, like that disused rail line at the front.
Yeah.
And that's another tip. If you've got space where you can put a suggestion of disused tracks, that can also be a really interesting feature. It doesn't have to line up
These
in
are
any
some
way with your
fantastic
existing
things.
tracks, but a little bit of a disused rail line can often be a really interesting addition
Oh,
to your
look at the
layout.
length of that train.
That is an impressive length APT.
Yes, it is. Oof.
I
This
love
is
the
nice.
scenery. That is
Yeah.
really nice. The church in the background.
Church looks great.
And the princess coronation class. You
Beep,
can
beep.
never go wrong with a princess coronation. But I do like the use of mirrors to make things look a lot bigger than they actually are. Really nice use of some quite subtle topography
Yeah.
with the
Can we
greenery.
jump this on a little bit, see if we can see it. Oh, yes, it's going to be worth it when it jumps to the next bit. Come on, there.
There we
How
go.
good does that look?
I do like that. And certainly you can make a smaller layout look a lot bigger by having scenes like this where you kind of force perspective. You force people to view that bit of the layout in a certain way.
Yeah.
Rather than getting an overview, you get a series of scenes.
Yes.
And that really does work incredibly well.
Yeah. It's like a what can I say? I want to say diorama, but perhaps vignette would be a better way of saying it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm looking around here now and thinking,
You've got certain
where
angles.
can I put mirrors?
You've got certain angles that when you look at it, it gives a completely different view of the layout.
Yeah. I do like the way the APT does lean on the corners. I'm really intrigued, actually. That line on the right, where does it go? And that, where you get angles like this, you can see the line disappearing, but not where it goes.
Yeah. Which of course also helps make the thing look even bigger. It's got stuff going left, right, and centre. I want to see. Let's see if we can see where that goes. There's not really an idea. Oh.
Yeah, there
Oh.
is. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Come on now.
There we
So
go.
that's where it goes. We've got a nice little tight branch line.
Oh, fantastic.
Did we have some kind of whoopsie in there? It just suddenly
Perhaps
stopped.
perhaps it's waiting.
Hmm.
So this is where it goes round.
And here's
Right.
another option with a layout like this. One option is you can have a really tight minimum radius little line. I've been thinking for a while about putting a little tiny, very, very constrained loop of narrow gauge up on Jablite Mountain. I have been thinking about this.
So
and
many
there's-
lines on this.
Yeah, actually, there's far more than you'd think.
This is a hell of
There's
a
like an
model.
incline in the foreground. Where does it go? Actually, I think that's the one that we saw that little pug on.
This is really. Thank you so much for sending this in.
So again, a great layout
look.
for watching trains
Oh,
go by.
yes.
And again, look, see, there we are. We've got the mirror there. The
And it
mirror
really
works
does
really
work.
well. You've got to try and avoid having yourself reflected in the mirror.
Yeah.
But you have it at an oblique angle, and you can really get some special views going on.
That is so good. I'm really enjoying
I think
this.
that's actually an ABC shuttle up to and stopping at the, because that's round a chimney breast.
Right. That
So
would
it goes
explain a
up,
lot, yeah.
just goes into the tunnel mouth, and that'll be where the ABC section or the
Evergreen
the
says that
shuttle
the
is.
line's a return loop.
Right.
There we go. It's
Nice.
super impressive. I really like this. Thank you so much for sending that in.
Thoroughly enjoyed actually that. It's
Yeah.
a great layout for watching trains go by.
And so many ideas on it. There's a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
people
yeah.
said they've got some ideas from it. Like, that's exactly what this is all about. Sharing what we've done so people
Absolutely.
can see what's going on and what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I need to do a project where I like the idea of having a little self-contained narrow gauge loop. Wouldn't be one that the double fairlies or the bogie coaches could get round, but I like the idea of having a little narrow gauge railway up there. And maybe have a camera. Oh yeah, we could have a camera just pointing at it. Now that we've got the extra camera working.
So this one's from Peachy TT120.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to have a read?
Oh, right, yeah, sorry. Hi, Jenny and Zoe. Hello.
Hello.
Here is my review of Hornby's latest TT120 release, the TTA wagons. Hope to see you guys at Doncaster. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be there. A year on from when I first met Jenny and Craig and was inspired to start my own channel, now knocking on the door of 1,000 subs. That's pretty good going, actually. Well done.
Fantastic.
So any help from the clubbers with pushing that door open would be very much appreciated. As usual, lots of, what's that say? Of blah in the video. So pretty bits are at 620, obligatory spinny turntable, 7 close-ups, 9:35 free rolling test, and 10 till 13:15 Gronk shunting. So I think if we go straight to 10, because
You want to see some Gronks, do you?
I need some Gronk on Gronk action. So
Oh my goodness.
come on.
When you see it, when Jen brings this up, you will see
Okay,
why.
there we go.
Oh my goodness.
This is a nice layout.
Yeah. Oh.
That back scene works really
That is
well.
impressive.
So that is actually very free running.
Yeah.
So is this all TT? Even the stuff at the bottom. This is
TT120 has come on in leaps and bounds since you first looked at it.
absolutely. This is. I do like your retaining walls. That's a really nice
Yeah.
effect with the uprights and then the slightly sloping in between. So this is.
Gronks.
They've got
That is
working lights as well, even
is
in
a hell of a-
TT120.
Yeah.
You do wonder, are Hornby going to upgrade their 00 Gronk with lights? That might be something
Well, it
worth
might
doing.
happen at some point.
Whamgok says, night all. Look, you take care.
Thank you
It's
for
always
coming
been
along.
great having your company.
This is look at that in the front with
the roundhouse.
Yeah.
This is a lovely layout. I need Peachy.
Oh my
I need to
goodness.
see more of your layout.
We
actually.
need to see more.
This is nice.
This is so impressive.
Yeah, I'm just looking across actually. That looks the back scene. I really do like it. It reminds me a bit of some of the Pico back scenes. Really nice.
I've got some back scenes in that style for N-Gauge.
but no,
and they
that
look
is actually
really lovely.
really nice back scene. It actually looks like it's 3D. That is a really nice back scene.
Very well done.
Ben Tullett says, Gronk it up.
Gronk it up.
Gronk it up.
Not
Hashtag
a
not a
cult.
cult for tax and legal purposes.
It's got people in the back scene.
Yeah,
Got people putting out washing and all sorts.
That's
That looks so
nice.
good.
Yeah. It's a bit like the back scene that Les crafted down here.
Oh, Les did a
Les
fantastic
did an amazing job. It
job.
must be said.
Absolutely.
Using old broken Metcalf.
It's N-Gauge Pico for the
and
back scene. There you go. I thought I'd recognise the style.
It works really well.
It really
actually.
does.
Really well.
Seriously does, yeah. Oh man,
This is
I'm
nice.
super impressed.
And you can see it's on top of what I guess is like an off-scene fiddly up. This track works ballasted nice. I like your rusty rail sides really has come out well.
Peachy's the guru of TT120, says Michael N.
Yeah.
He does know all about TT120.
We'll have to have it. We have to have a new. So the guru of TT120, because it's slightly smaller than 00.
I think we need to actually set up that TT120 stuff again and make a little layout.
We
Maybe
do.
just a shelf layout.
Yeah. I must admit, I think we need to get a Gronk in TT120.
I've wanted a Gronk in TT120 since I saw it in the membership. Just the moment I saw them, it's like, oh, I need them. They're so nice. Perhaps after we've come back from holiday.
I like that the back scene works so well. It's like, I'm sorry, Peachy. I'm going to pinch your idea on that back scene. Using the N-gauge back scene actually works really well because it gives you a forced perspective.
It absolutely does.
And
this
that
is
is actually working incredibly well. That's inspired.
Here's a different part of it. Oh, look at the quality of that.
That is really good.
The way you've got all those buildings jumbled like that just looks. Oh my goodness!
That's the Pico back scene.
Yeah,
but it really
just
is
looks
effective.
so good. Love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah. So there we are.
Thank you so much. And he's got his own T-shirts and shirts. Nice.
Nicely done.
Very nice.
So do check out Peachy TT120's channel.
That was so good.
And see if we can get him over 1,000 subs.
Yes.
But yeah, really
He's
enjoyed
currently
that.
at 955. So yeah, get in there, guys.
45 more and monetization beckons.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's really good. I like these. The N-gauge back scene has really paid dividends. And your track work, the ballasting and the rail side rust really has come out nicely. So I'm very impressed with that. It's put me in the mood. I need to do a little TT120 minimum space thing. I think I'm going to have to get myself a little Gronk in TT120. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. So we've got enough time for
one more, maybe two.
So this is J. Paul Anderson. Danish State Railways diorama, Ormstorper Masken Depot. I'm massacring that pronunciation.
You don't pronounce Danish. You don't.
I pronounce it as if
it's hard. Danish is hard.
Oh, right. Anyway, there we go. So this is nice. J. Paul Anderson does some really, really
super quality stuff. Oh, I like that. Is that a watering tower in the corner?
Looks to be, or a hydraulic accumulation tower. Mike Lane TT120 says, we need a leader and it's got to be you. Best channel for TT, and as we know, there's a few out there. Oh yeah, I think that there is some great content, and TT120,
really
it's
this is lovely.
It's been a great success for Hornby.
It really has.
Oh, I do like that locomotive. What is that like?
I don't know, but I like it.
084 or something like that. I don't know. I like the little red and white bands around the funnel.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Oh, I like the farm tractor. See, with like the caterpillar tracks.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Very cool. This is very. Look, the steps down underneath the local.
Yeah, it's
that's really cool.
inspection pit or an ash pit.
That's very cool.
That is nice. Really, really nice.
Storm.
Water tower, standard Danish design.
Thank you, Storm. That's good to know. Oh my goodness, he's got a lift-off roof so you can see inside.
Oh, I do like the roof trusses. And again, it's something you can do with balsa wood. It's really good for being able to replicate stuff like that. One of the things I've always wanted to do is like a US style layout and build a trestle, a proper trestle bridge using balsa wood.
I would love to see you do that.
Yeah. I think that would be quite nice.
I might even let you put it in the lounge.
So I think actually next time I'm in a model shop that sells like balsa strip, I need to get a load of balsa strip and actually make a little diorama with a like one of those wooden trestles.
Yeah. This is so good.
And again, that would actually, you could do a really good job with like an ink staining because it's real wood. So it'll show off all the grain and everything.
Yeah.
And this is nice.
I'm very impressed with this. This is so nice.
And again, like another way of like getting a mojo back is doing dioramas like this.
Yeah. I've seen Les does a lot of dioramas and they look so good.
And you can make them as big or as small as you like. I mean, you could imagine just having a diorama centered around that water tower.
Yeah.
Imagine the water tower and a little bit of the ground around it and just hyper detail. Wyvern Model Railway says another beautiful layout. We are being spoiled tonight.
Absolutely, aren't we?
Flymo Chairman 1 says check the crane.
Yeah,
lovely.
I
like the tractor. If anybody can tell me, is that a commercially available item or a kit.
I love that. I love it. It looks like a tram, but it's clearly a locomotive. I love it. Oh, that is so good.
Oh, stop the press. Will Tucker says Hellion made an American-style trestle bridge kit.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to have to go and look out for that.
Yeah.
SHGP Media says there's some good laser cut bridge kits which you can pick up quite cheaply. I need to do some research.
Thank you so much for sending all those in. We have a lot still to go through, but unfortunately tonight we have run out of time. So
absolutely,
I have to say, before we do anything else, Jenny, do we have a sponsor?
Yes, we do.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey.
So it's been another great night. Thank you so much for coming. And J. Paul Anderson says the tractor is from Shuko 1 to 87.
All right.
I have to look that up. And SHGP Media says I'll tag you in some links, Jenny. Looking forward to it actually, because I've had an idea for doing a logging switchback themed layout for quite some time.
Yeah.
So they will be really, really good. Richard Knowles says bought a Hornby DCC sound fitted Class 31 from TNC during the stream. Well done, my son.
Nice.
Topsy has rushed off because he is so excited to be ensconced in front of his own little personal monitor and watching Gamehammer Classic Gaming tonight on the
goodness.
Anything Goes live stream. So Topsy has run off for that. And what will you be playing on Gamehammer Classic Gaming tonight?
I've been requested to play Castle Master on the Amstrad CPC and Sylphied on the PlayStation 2.
What on the PS2?
Sylphied.
Sylphied.
It's a shoot 'em up, as I recall. So I'll be playing that. We've got it, so don't worry. And of course, it is one of those request nights. So if anyone has a request and I've got it, we'll play it.
Absolutely. And the stream, at the end of this stream, you'll be automatically prompted if you wish to head on over to Gamehammer Classic Gaming, and your live streaming goodness will continue there. So Topsy has already gone off for that. Yellowstar 95970, big hello to you, great to see you. Ruben Ashwell says good night everyone, have a good rest of the week. Jerry BBR says night all, take care of yourselves and have a good week. Aaron Ville says good night all, great show again, Jenny and Zoe. Oh, thank you so much. It's been absolutely an honour having all you guys company. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to hit that like button and show your appreciation for the stream, and consider sharing it to social media, let other people know about the Monday Club. And of course you can still watch tonight's stream. It becomes a regular video and you can catch up on any bits that you might have missed or any bits that you want to see again. Thank you as well everybody who has shared videos and pictures with us. Some really great stuff there. Lots of great ideas and inspiration that you can apply to your own model railway to reinvigorate a layout that maybe you feel has become a bit stale, maybe you've run out of ideas. There's so many great ways that you can build on an existing model railway, refresh it, renew everything from static grass, custom trees, doing a little hyper detailing project, and many, many more. So thank you so much, you guys. And if you haven't already done so, do consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that notification bell. You can also head on over to Patreon and become a patron and help support the channel to keep us making the videos that you want to see. We've got a number of different tiers of rewards, but from everybody here at Weir Yard, a big thank you for joining us. You guys take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. Bye for now.
train now departing is the 2104 service to Bolton Trinity Road, stopping at Wynyth Tatis, Tatis Newydd, Eindhoven, Pittsburgh somehow, Butzfarting, Grove Street Yard, and then on to Bolton Trinity Road. That's the 2104 service to Bolton Trinity Road.
If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Good night.
That sounds a bit. I think the speaker's letting go.
Oh, that's a shame. Right, I'll be off to set up for the hammer of the games. Game hammer, hammer all the games.
I think I've actually
Yeah,
got a failed speaker.
My goodness.
Slowly getting quieter and quieter.
Could be a loose connection. No, that's not a loose connection, that's a broken speaker.
That's a blown speaker, if ever there was
Right.
one.
Jen, I am going to pass you the mouse
Of
power.
ultimate power, yes. Take take yourself one of those.
I've already had 3.
Well,
Thank you.
I want you to have a fourth one.
Why? What have you done to it?
Nothing. Just you like them more than me. Doncaster Model Railway, I wouldn't say it's a dying decoder. I would say it's just the speaker has let go. Yes, Jerry BBR, absolutely time for Billy's replacement speaker. Luckily, the beta test group did send me a couple of spare speakers, and I think I've got one left. So it is a big job to replace the speaker in there, but certainly I think it needs to be done. What's wrong?
The king has cancer.
King Charles.
Yes.
So we just learnt the news that King Charles has cancer. Do we know what kind of cancer?
The palace hasn't announced what type, but they found it during his treatment for an enlarged prostate, but it's not prostate cancer. It's got some other form.
Oh, that's a bit of a shock.
Yeah, and it's just been announced a couple of hours ago. That's quite sad. We wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
My goodness. Yeah.
So I found my spare speaker and I am going to see about plugging that in instead of the one that's actually in the locomotive. Now, the locomotive itself is it's quite an involved fitting for Stay Alive and speaker, both of which have to be very carefully fitted in, and it's not a simple job, but there we go. So I've now got everything kind of pulled out like spaghetti. I'm just going to place the locomotive on the track again. Now, what's quite telling is that the marker lights have stopped working as well, but everything is quite loud. Now, it's very hard to tell when the speaker's not in an enclosure. You don't actually get very good sound quality. But I don't want to stick it into an enclosure because you only get one go at sticking them in, and kind of removes the flexibility. So I'm going to just hold that over there. Right, with the new speaker, all sounds well, but we do not have directional lights anymore. All I'm doing is actually holding the enclosure up against the speaker. So that speaker is working just fine. So we're coming close to that time when we're going to be moving you over to the Game Hammer Classic Gaming stream. So a big thank you from everybody who's joined us, and take great care of yourself. I'm just going to double check that the stream is up and running over at Game Hammer, and then we will move you across. Zoe, are you up and running? Okay. So a big thank you to, excuse me, everybody who's joined us here on the Monday Night Live Monday Club. We're going to be moving you over to the Game Hammer Classic Gaming stream. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share and subscribe. And until next time, take great care of yourself. Happy modelling.